So I'm going to talk about an insight today. Well, I've just sort of connected into the energy today, and what I'm connecting into, I've been getting and connected into. So I've been seeing pyramids this morning. I've been seeing a golden light, and this very much connects to Serapis Bey, the Ascended Master, which is to do with ascension. It's to do with enlightenment. It's to do with the divine and the Holy Spirit. So he very much connects to that. So it's about a seeker of truth. So it's very much around that at the moment, and this is what this time's about. Like, when you talk about like the sacred sun, which is like this source energy within you, and like the sun is the bringer of light, the bringer of truth, the bringer of understanding, the bringer of energy. All the sun brings this light, this energy, and the source energy is that. The ascended master Serapis Bey helps us with that. It helps us about finding the truth, finding that spiritual light, that spiritual energy when that enlightens us. And this is what the ascension process is about. And this is what Serapis Bey brings. And I feel very much connected to that. And why I'm saying Serapis Bey is because I know that he was very sort of instrumental in in a lifetime in Egypt. And because I've got like a symbolic sort of like vision of pyramids today, golden pyramids. I know he very much connects to that. So it's very much about seeking your own light, seeking your own energy, seeking your own truth, and this is what this time's about, and this is why we were getting these kind of energies at the moment. So pyramids again are as a triangle. It's a goal. It's in ancient Egypt. They were very much around the pharaohs buried themselves in it as a like a doorway into the spirit world or the infinite realms, and it's very much around that. But Serapis Bey brings that kind of energy, that light, and it's very much around that. So it's very much around ascension. So it's very much a shifting of consciousness, of understanding. So we're moving again from that 3D blueprint to that 5D blueprint, where we start to move from a 3D reality, which is a very physical human form, in stepping into our spiritual form again, which is stepping into this light, this energy, this our own power. But the power is the understanding that we're connected, that we're not alone, that we're being guided, that we're being supported, we're being nurtured. All of this is to open up. Again, when I'm talking about this spiritual sun, this great the central sun, or the sacred sun, is this spiritual energy, and it's about all of us starting to open up to it. The times that we don't feel open to that is when we're still connected to that 3D blueprint, which is the physical world, which is outside of ourselves. And this again connects to the universal law of correspondence, where it's not about the inner, it's about the outer. It's not about the outer world, it's about the inner, sorry. So the outer world is the illusion, is the inner world is where that light, that energy. As I connect into it, I start to see this kind of, I'm seeing like an energy, or like a being, and I can see these beautiful piercing blue eyes, and I can see like an Egyptian headdress, of somebody that was bringing this kind of energy, this kind of light, very much around sort of like somebody that would have been an advisor, somebody that brought wisdom, that would have guided you, would have brought this energy, and this information. So it's a guiding sort of it's a guiding helper, or energy, or like a spirit guide. And as I connect into it, the headdress is very ornate. It's very gold. It's got gold and it's got white on there. So they're two very high colours. Again, white is very much about truth, purity, enlightenment, cleansing, healing, clarity, higher consciousness. The gold is very much around universal wisdom, universal insight, but it's also about healing. It brings this thing. It's also around alchemy, which is creation. So this kind of energy that's coming in. I've also got like the old Egyptian sort of like with the beard and the snake coming out of the headdress. So I know this is kind of thing, and he has a scepter. So as this guide comes in, it's got a scepter, so it's a guiding force that is giving information. So it's very much around that, and this is what we're getting at the moment. This kind of energy that we're getting is very much around sort of like awakening. It's all about awakening at the moment, and it's moving through things. It's so important at the moment, at this time, that we awaken and we start to realize that we have this energy, we have this light, we have this ability to transform anything. And this seems to be what I'm always talking about at the moment: transformation, transmutation, which is connected to Serapis Bay, but is also connected to Saint Germain, who transforms, gives us that ability. But also, again, it's very much around the spirit world and the spirit guides. They're all interconnected, nothing's separate. They all work as a collective. They don't work separately. And this is part of our purpose and our enlightenment, is to awaken to that. It's to realize that we're not separate. We're not separate from each other. We have that spiritual energy, that spiritual essence, that spiritual source energy. We're infinite beings, and we are connected to those spirit realms and with the guides and the masters, but we're also connected to each other. And this is the real key. The key that unlocks it all is knowing that we're connected to each other. So we all have the ability, like I keep saying, individually to shift our own reality, but collectively. And that's what we need to work on more, is collectively, because I think that's where the disconnection is still happening, very much for us as spiritual beings, is we're still seeing it on an individual level. And this is part of the 3D reality. You go through the 3D reality blueprint where you start to awaken and you start to realize you're a spiritual being with spiritual light, spiritual energy, and the creative ability. But then you start on an individual level, and then where it shifts differently to a fifth dimensional blueprint is you start to see there's no separation, that you start to see collectively we're all connected, there's no separation. So my light and my energy, it is connected to everything else as well. So in that sense, we're here, first of all, to awaken as a spiritual being, individually, and start to apply those spiritual sort of and work with those universal laws within our own reality. But then when we shift higher, we start to realize my energy and my light is here also to collectively shift the planet, to help other people, to serve other people, and all collectively it connects in. And this is why we've all incarnated. Millions and millions of souls on this planet are here for that reason, to awaken. We all have a sacred blueprint, a seed of creation in us, each and every one of us, that can, when we awaken it and we connect to each other, we can shift reality, we can shift the whole consciousness of this planet, and we can shift and change the reality of the planet. And this is what the spirit world's bringing us. This is what it tells us to do, that we're starting to shift that. And this is what the ascension process is, an awakening process. And this is why we keep talking about shifting from a 3D blueprint to a 5D blueprint, because the 5D blueprint is where we know we're all connected and we all have an ability to create, shift and change. But we do that, like I said, individually, then we do it collectively. So this time's very much around that. Like I said, Serapis Bay brings this knowledge of this spiritual energy, this spiritual light. It gives us the truth. It connects us into our true nature, our understanding of our ability of this, that we're this creative being. And this is what the Ascended Masters bring. This is what the angels bring. I think a lot of us, again, are still suffering on the planet because we're in this individual reality. We forget this. We go to work. We go to our works. We go to our lives, our normal routine, and we forget. It's like we go asleep. When we go into work, we go to sleep, and then when we come away from it, we're away from that reality, from that. So that we're creating like little sacred, little pockets of, we're in this infinite space, but for very short times in our lives. And the process of ascension is awakening to know that we can shift and change anything and be that this infinite being at any time, that never leaves us. We're never separate. We're never not aligned. We're only aligned when we go to sleep, and we go to sleep when we're sort of like, we get attached to that 3D reality, and we close our energy down by being caught up in the illusion of the 3D reality, being caught up in the outer world, when it should be about the inner world. So it's very much around that. This energy is really, really beautiful this morning. I've got all this kind of, I just feel like I'm being basked in the actual sun, but there's no sun obviously in my room, but I feel like I'm feeling this energy as it's just like it's shining down on me at the moment. And as it shines down on me, it's like it's not regenerating me, but it's it's giving me all this energy, it's giving me all this light, and it's just warming me up. And then as it's warming me up, all this energy that's coming, it's just flowing and it's just building. and I'm just brimming with all this energy at the moment because I can just feel it's like, so I've got like this universal sun just shining down on me at the moment as I start to talk about this. So I know the energies that are around me are bringing this insight, this energy. It's a completely different kind of vibration, and it's being connected into that, obviously, that new kind of vibrant energy that's coming in. That, once we open up to that and we start to see that, we see that that source energy is with us, that we're never separate from it, that we're never disconnected, and that creative energy is always there. It's always there. It's always around us, and I just feel like that at the moment. That's what we need to do. We need to spend time to open to it. We just need to spend time to feel it and just sit in that vibration and walk in that vibration, because that's the key. We need to walk in that energy, walk in that vibration all the time. And when we're walking in that vibration, because we're open, we dissolve. That physical reality, that 3D blueprint cannot exist. It doesn't exist in the 5D blueprint. So when you're low, or you feel like things have, like your energy your vibration frequency has shifted, and maybe it's lowered, it's become denser, it's become heavier, look at what you're attached to in your life. Look what's going on, because that source energy is there all the time. You're only not feeling it when you're getting connected to something that's outside of yourself. It's like you've sort of like your whole consciousness has gone out to the outer world, and you've stopped sort of like being aligned to the inner world, because the 3D blueprint cannot exist in that. Because the 3D blueprint is about an external blueprint, it's about a physical blueprint, it's about individual consciousness, which the 5D blueprint is not about. That it's about collective consciousness that shifts and changes reality for all beings, and for the highest good of all beings. So when you're starting to connect into that, you realise that. I just keep feeling like today I'm being told, it's like I've got this guiding force of this Egyptian being that's behind me, these piercing blue eyes, this little beard. He's got like a snake head on there. He's got this ornate headdress around him, and it's got gold and white, gold and white, gold and white. Like I said, and this energy's with me, and as I sit in with this energy, I do think it's very much connected to Serapis Bey. I really do. I feel this is what this ascending master is bringing, this white energy. But what I'm feeling at the moment is I'm just feeling this beautiful sun, but it feels like it sits in my sort of like my heart chakra, my energy is just sitting there, and it's just warming me up. It's just, this energy is just sitting there, and if I just sit in this vibration, it's like it's beaming this energy out of my heart chakra. It's going out, and it's just like I feel like I'm just basking in this energy, in this sun, this sacred sun, and this is the source energy, and this is how they're making me feel it. And I know this is connected to Serapis Bey, and the fact that I've got like the Egyptian pyramids. Like yesterday, I had very much around purple energy. I felt that was connected to Melchizedek, who's a universal teacher, and I felt that was connected to that, because I was seeing like long white hair and blue eyes, and this beautiful deep rich purple robe, and I think that's connected to Melchizedek's order, which is he's a universal teacher that brings universal knowledge, universal consciousness. Today it's very much around Serapis Bey. Yesterday it was very much connected to as well Moira, who's this divine will, a divine intelligence, but the divine will and the divine intelligence connects also to Serapis Bey, which is about this ascension, this spiritual enlightenment, this spiritual understanding. Until you connect to that divine intelligence, that divine will, you can't connect to the divine source. So everything's interconnected, nothing's separate. There's this, the spiritual guides and spiritual ascended masters work as a collective. They work as like they're a collective energy. They work in harmony with each other, and this is why there's no separation, and this is how we should be working. That my light is my light, is my energy, is my source energy, but my source energy is here, and when I open it up, it connects to you, and it connects to here, and connects over, and we're all connected by that infinite source energy. That's what makes us a spiritual family. This is what makes us a spiritual unity or collective, spiritual consciousness. And this is what the Ascended Masters bring. So it's very much around that. I feel like today is very much around guidance. It's very much around spiritual reality, and it's about those spiritual sort of ascended masters. I don't want to talk so much physically, I want to talk more spiritually. But then also that's shifted, the energy is shifted by saying that I'm feeling this collective, I'm feeling this spiritual sun that's sitting in my chest, and it's just flowing out of me. It's like this light is flowing from within me straight out, and it's so bright that it blinds me from within. So I know this energy is very, very strong, and this is that source energy, and this is what the guides and the masters and the ascended masters and the angels are trying to awaken in each and every one of you. You know, nothing outside of you, you know, is, or everything outside of you is an illusion, but you also have the ability within you to dissolve anything, to shift anything. And this is, they're saying that source, that power is in you. Remain in it, walk in it. And if you walk in it, you'll dissolve. There'll be no barriers, there'll be no problems, there'll be no issues, because you'll be connected to that infinite source, your own true nature. And when you walk in that, you dissolve everything, because you're walking in that light, that power, that energy. And this is what stepping in that power is about as well. So that's the insight for today. So it's about Serapis Bay, it's about ascension, it's about awakening up. It's waking up to that spirit, that light, that energy of yours. But that will bring you this like seeking of truth. I feel this is really important, that the seeking of truth is so important, but it's the seeking of your true nature, your true light, your true energy. And this is what the awakening process is. And it's so important to dissolve that 3D reality. I can't express it enough.